After hearing these truly staggering comments from the CEO of Honda, you would think that all the short sellers who are currently bleeding billions of dollars shorting Tesla would jump off the Tesla boat and jump onto shorting Honda. Honda says it cannot sell an affordable $30,000 electric car in the United States unless it has a solid-state battery breakthrough. In my opinion, the chances of Honda surviving as a car company past 2035 are virtually zero. Guys, today Dacia, which make the cheapest electric car that you can buy in Europe, slashed the price by nearly 50% to 12,000 euros. And you might be thinking, oh, it must be crap, it must be just a rubbish EV, but it's not. In fact, it's pretty good. It's got 240 kilometers of range, it's got a pretty decent sized battery pack, and it's actually a pretty good car. So what on earth are Honda going on about? If Dacia can do it, I mean, a company that most people outside of Europe have never even heard of, then what exactly is Honda's big problem? Why are Honda's many thousands of engineers incapable of something that other companies are now doing remarkably easily? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. You know, in China, you can obviously buy numerous different electric cars under 10,000 US dollars. There's heaps of them. And I mean, some of them are bigger than you might think. Some of them made by electric car company Nita are actually quite big for around 10,000 US dollars. You can get some amazing cars. There is so many, I don't even know where to start, guys, because there's hundreds of EV models you can get in China under 10,000 US dollars. And like I said, in Europe, the Dacia Spring costs 12,000 euros. So that's a bit under, about 13,500 US dollars. However, Honda says there needs to be a technological breakthrough to sell cheap EVs. Honda wants to make a $30,000 electric car for the US by 2030, in 6 years from now, but they're saying it won't happen unless there's some kind of technological breakthrough. Now, I'm guessing Honda hasn't heard of lithium iron phosphate batteries because they don't use them. I'm guessing Honda hasn't heard of gigacasting because they don't use that. Now, it's not only Tesla that uses that. By the way, Toyota is using gigacast now as well. They're going to be using them with Lexus to begin with, then Toyota cars. Numerous automakers are going to be using them. I mean, Honda are clearly not paying attention to the fact Hyundai just bought gigacasting machines from Tesla's supplier in Italy. What is Honda talking about here? I don't understand. Honda CEO Toshihiro Mibe wants to make an electric car for the masses, but he believes true affordability won't be possible without a paradigm-shifting leap in EV technology. If we want to create a car that is 30,000 US dollars, I think we need something that is a breakthrough, Mibe told Inside EVs during a roundtable interview at CES through a translator. Of course, I think we need a small car, an EV, in the coming future. We are trying to accelerate our research to that end. Realistically, this is so incredibly stupid. I mean, seriously. There is 50 different Chinese electric car companies selling EVs for less than $30,000. And some of them are incredibly good. Way better than what a cheap EV needs to be. Honda would like to roll out a $30,000 EV for the US market by the very late 2020s, said Shinji Azuyama, the company's global executive vice president. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that correctly. Anyway, he says that the big problem there lies in the high cost of today's lithium-ion batteries. Now, this is also equally insane. I mean, has he not seen what's happened over the past 6 months? The cost of batteries has come down by 40%. They have never, ever been cheaper. In fact, there is no logic behind these. There's no truth behind these statements whatsoever. Battery prices have come down by more than 90% over the past 10 years. Mibe said, though, the only way to make an EV affordable at present is to equip it with fewer batteries, thus reducing its range. He questions what sort of value of that kind of vehicle would offer. When you talk about an affordable EV, it's very difficult to have a good business, he said. Well, if you don't have a single EV production line, such as Honda, I guess you'd be right. Solid-state batteries, a technology that's still very much in the experimental stages, but that Honda and other companies are looking to bring to market could be the breakthrough that paves the way for a $30,000 car, said Meeb. That's pure fantasy. Say I. What do you guys think? This new chemistry could being the big operative word here, could slash battery costs while improving vehicle range and reducing the potential for fires, he said. Sounds a lot like lithium iron phosphate batteries to me, but anyway. If we can do a good job with development, the benefit will be huge, he said. Now he's talking about solid state batteries, and Honda, truthfully, could be working on them for the next 47 years before something actually comes to market. Let's be realistic here. Honda on Tuesday announced a new line of battery powered models coming in 2025. They say they will have 30 new electric car models by 2030. These vehicles rely on brand new in-house EV technology and Honda revealed two concepts that will be actual production cars. The company aims to introduce solid-state batteries to their lineup. It's by some point in the 2020s. They're saying late 2020s. But for some context here, guys, for those of you who don't know this, most of you do, Toyota have said since 2014 that it was only a couple of years until their EVs all came with solid-state batteries. There still isn't a single EV in the world with solid-state batteries yet. The high cost of today's battery-powered models, according to Honda, is the most significant barrier to widespread adoption of EVs. And even Inside EVs agrees with that statement. Now, I personally think that is utter baloney. It's completely untrue. It's so untrue, I cannot understand why this statement would be made by any logical person. Put it this way, guys. If every car company in the world, if Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, if all of them were mass producing electric cars, so if all their production lines were specifically made to mass produce EVs would cost not a single cent more than internal combustion. There is no logical reasoning for any of these statements. An EV has far less moving parts. It's much simpler. The biggest cost of an EV, on average, a few years ago, the biggest cost of an EV was the battery pack, yes. 40% of the cost of an EV on average was the battery pack. However, because battery prices have come down enormously, in fact, they've come down 40% in the last 12 months alone. That's no longer the case. Now, if you have dedicated factories, dedicated EV production lines, and you mass produce a product, it's not true. It's completely untrue that you cannot make a profit on an affordable electric car. Put it this way, I mean, Tesla already sells the Model 3 for $38,000 US with a significant amount. Imagine a smaller version of the Model 3, right? Decrease the size of the Model 3 by 30%, decrease its range by 20%. All of a sudden, you've got a $30,000 electric car right there and then. That's just logic. The $26,500 Chevrolet Bolt EV was one of the EVs that Honda must be ignoring. Unfortunately, though, that vehicle has now been cancelled until the new version arrives. Tesla says it is working on a $25,000 car, but that car is a couple of years away. That said, it's only a few years away. If Honda is saying they're going to struggle to have a $30,000 EV by 2030, then in my opinion, they're completely dead in the water. But here's some context. Honda doesn't make its own EVs. In China, other companies make EVs for Honda, and Honda puts badges on the front of them. Or the company actually puts badges on the front for Honda. In the United States, who makes Honda's EVs? Well, no one yet, but General Motors is about to. The Honda Prologue, other EVs for Honda, who's going to make them? General Motors. The truth is, Honda is essentially paying a middleman. Remove the middleman, how much cost will you remove from the product? A hell of a lot. Mass produce the product, how much can you bring the price down? A $30,000 EV, in my opinion, is absolutely a piece of piss. I think there is no reason Honda can't do this, and especially by 2030. But Honda seems to think it's all just a bit too hard. That's probably what Nokia said when Apple came along. It's probably the same thing that Kodak said when, well, smartphones and all this new technology came along. It's probably the same thing that BlackBerry said when all the new competition came to market. What do you think Honda's chances are of surviving in the new world? My opinion, not much. Not much. Thanks for watching.